There's a third in the bunch, but I lost it. When I find it, it's going
So
on.
you like look at the time?
Yeah. Not facts.
That's great.
So whenever we're ready, you just tell me when.
I think he's just messing with it in the back.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Para.
Can you see clear?
Yeah.
Alright. Welcome everybody, this is Conscious Radio. We are here with Rain Raps.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being with me on this beautiful night, Moreno. And Rain, we're gonna go into a little game. We're gonna be deconstructing some of your lyrics.
Okay.
Desperate desires.
Alrighty.
Yeah. First off, in your humble opinion, what is a desperate desire?
So really, there's two things that was kind of the leap is into, oh, I'm really a rapper, so I need to commit to this and do it right. So in the instance of a desperate desire, it's really about doing something, getting caught up in wanting success or money or something so much that you become desperate for that actual desire.
And you lose yourself a little.
Whether like, say a person with a brand that might be a little misogynistic, for example, or promote drugs, etc., in ways that I understand would compromise who I am as a person, steer away from, I guess, things that would take away from
all
life.
the darkness.
Precisely. It's like, yes.
Okay, and you refer to her as Dear Miss Karma, so female.
Mm-hmm.
You ask her to let you in, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in that specific lyric, first, why is Karma a woman letting you in? Go ahead.
I'd say Karma's a woman because I understand women always keep it real. Whether it's gonna hurt my feelings or make me feel like the coolest person in the world. But that being said, I guess like in energy, and it can be the most positive thing or the most negative thing that you do or about themselves. It's a way to like let them choose.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said, or I guess I didn't really ask, but karma, if I do something bad to that person, it's gonna come around and that's gonna happen to me. Do you have the same perception of what karma is?
Yeah. Try to think twice or three times before I do something, because stuff like I've been having the worst days ever, and someone just asked me, truly, how are you? Or they just smiled, and it just allowed me to reevaluate what I do have in that. Like the other night, precisely.
The way it should be.
Exactly.
One of the things that I really love about your music in general is that I feel like you have incorporated so many different genres, so many different styles, like that. Who can pull that off, number one. And number two, is just have all these different tastes and all these different outlets, really understands who they are and has a good idea of who they are. Do you agree with that?
Yes. I definitely say, really, at the end of the day, like, my music, for me, is a way of self-growth. Like, granted, I always really meditate, and just try to clear my mind. So music is the way that I do that. And that just allows me to know, like, oh, I would have never said this 6 months ago because I didn't go through that experience. And now, having lived a portion of that life, I can actually discuss these things in my music, or religion, or spirituality, or I'm becoming a better friend, and now I want to let my friends know. They'll hear something in the song, and they'll know that I'm specifically referencing them.
Right. Because I've heard you speak to, about relationships. Going off of that, of knowing who you are, when was a moment in your life where you realized and understood who you are? Was there a specific event that happened? For example, some people just have epiphanies within their childhood, something to do with their parents and who they might become. Yeah.
So there's two moments specifically. So before I even knew what this world was, so actually like during my birth, not even to go into any crazy
like the day
details.
that you were born?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like,
Like, actually, like, from the first time, because it was very high risk. I was born with a heart murmur, so just to, like, kind of give you context.
Yeah.
And so it was just a lot of complications going on with my birth. And, of course, I was affected by it greatly, as well as my mother.
Right.
So, getting older, my dad finally felt like, oh, you're old enough to really understand how you came into this world. So he sat me down and explained, like, a lot of what he was going through, how he felt. And then he really, like, he calls me Chimp. And he was like, well, you survived that, and, like, I just want to call you Chimp because I feel like you can do anything in this world.
Oh, okay.
And so that really told me that, wow, like, my dad believes in me. Like, I can do anything I want. And then...
Sorry, not to cut you off,
Oh,
but it's interesting how those lessons can happen.
Yeah, precisely.
What was the second?
And the second was where I found my artistic voice. It was when I wrote "You Thought Wrong."
Yeah.
And I remember being in my room, and I was going through like the transition of out of a relationship. Like, I could tell that we were getting to that final. Inspired by that, like, you must have not known you had a brother with some soul. And I was just like, this is what I live for. Like, I always wanted to just be like really gritty, like really kind of funky and something like that.
Right.
And I just kept writing. I was in the zone, and I was like, that.
Yeah.
And then when people hear it, they're gonna know, like, this is Rain Raps. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I just remember like the endorphin overload, and I looked at myself in the mirror, like, yes, like, this is it, this is it. So that was definitely the second moment. But from then, I just like.
Said before, all your songs are kind of different from one another.
Yes.
Definitely funk, soul, sometimes even just rap by itself.
Yes.
What is the most maybe not as common as you normally would hear with Rain Raps?
Ooh. Oh. Okay. Lyrically. Okay. Just about single All My Worries. Just because like the sound is very electronic, and it doesn't necessarily lend itself to hip hop. So like you hear a guy called Rain Raps, you're like, what is he doing rapping over like and it was just one of those things where I was like, wow, like I could still turn this into who I am at the end of the day, but I can also access not only a different market, but a different like kind of inspiration that I didn't even know that I would have inside of me.
Right.
So
Any upcoming projects? Are you performing anywhere that we need to know about?
Yes, actually I am performing a lot this coming February, 4 times, precisely. So, definitely check me out on Instagram, because that's where you'll find out about those shows. So you can just go to where most of my music is, soundcloud.com/RANERAPS. I have a website, rainraps.com. You can follow me on Twitter. But if you are in the LA area, you want to see me perform, definitely check me out on, February 20th at No Breaks. I'll put up info soon where you can buy tickets, and I'll let you guys know the final details for the other 2 shows. But yeah, it's going to be a busy month.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Conscious Radio. For our listeners,
Thank you.
Rain Raps has performed live on SoCal Radio before, so check much for
Thank you.
coming on here, and we hope to see you soon.